Clinicians, I would say, and I'll give the story first. So we were, I was working, traveling back and forth, taking Colin to different appointments. And I think this was probably like the third appointment of the day. I'm exhausted. And we go to this doctor, and I'm like, what do I need to do to make sure that Colin walks?
Mhm.
And she looks at me and was like, well, you shouldn't expect for him to walk. And I was like, but I do. Well, I can't tell you how to feel. There's an internal, like, I wish I would have said something snarky in response, but I literally cried the 2 hour ride home. Because there's a way you have to, as clinicians, you have to be mindful of your words. And there's totally different way. If you, because you never want to give false hope. All she had to say was, in order to give him the best possible chance of walking, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And that would have changed the whole narrative of the conversation and how I felt about it. And then I made sure I never saw her again. And then 5 years down the road, she's like, because I still kind of see her. Oh, you're doing a great job. Oh, Colin, he'll be walking. Like, do you not remember what you told me?
Yeah.
So it's to be mindful of how the words that you say, because you will forget about it. But, this is 5 years later. I still remember that day. I remember how she made me feel. And another, so that's like part of, and then also just never always leave a little bit of room for hope because you want to give parents something to kind of look forward to. You don't want to think like, oh, you're just going to bring home this kid that's just going to lay there. You know what I mean? Like, give them hope. Either match them with a family, especially if you're in the NICU, match them with a family who's willing to talk about their experience. At least give the parents a different perspective. Um, and for the ones who may be listening, I know how dark life can get, but there's always light. You just have to find it and keep going. And trust me, I know how dark it can get. I know how it feels to have a son die, a husband die, and have a wonder if your other kid's gonna die. And life is definitely not easy. And like I share a lot of my story, and I always make sure people know, like, they was like, oh, it looks like you're doing all this stuff. It's not easy. Like, I never want to portray. I'm like, I'm sorry if I ever gave that impression because life is hard as hell, but it's manageable. And I don't think it gets easy. I feel like you rise to the occasion and you put in tools in place to kind of make it run a little bit more smoothly. But that's just because you've already been through the hard stuff. So you know not to make those mistakes again.